Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What is up, everybody? PattySMusic here again today. And today, it is time for another SmackDown! 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 Today's SmackDown is fairly controversial. I'm going to be pitting two of Red's best albums against each other. On one hand, we have End of Silence, and on the other hand, we have Of Beauty and Rage. The rules are simple. We're going to go track by track, pitting each one against each other from each album. Each album gets 10 hit points. The album with the least hit points at the end loses, and the other album wins. Let's get started. The first two tracks that we're going to pit against each other are both the intro and the outro of each album. The intro and outro of End of Silence is definitely a great way to cap off the entire album. It brings you into the album, it takes you out of the album, but you can never really find anything special in it, and in my opinion, there's not anything there dependent of the album. Now, when in converse, when you look at Of Beauty and Rage's intro and outro, I love listening to those by themselves. And while they work well by themselves, they also work well introing into the album. So I'm going to have to give this one to Of Beauty and Rage. Their intro and outro, Descent and Ascent, are absolutely amazing and cinematically awesome. So, End of Silence loses a hit point. The next two tracks we're going to pit against each other are both of the openers for each album. We have Breathe Into Me versus Imposter. Breathe Into Me is such a solid Red song that it's hard to really find a song that I like more than it. Breathe Into Me got me into the band Red, and it's definitely in my top 10 favorite Red songs of all time, if you've watched that video. On the flip side, Imposter, I was not a huge fan of when I first listened to it. Now, I know a lot of people who think that it's an amazing song. And when I first listened to it, even two or three times, I thought that it was one of the most overrated Red songs that I've ever listened to. But after listening to it a few more times, I realized that it does have substance, and there is a reason for it being many people's favorite. That said, it has nothing on Breathe Into Me. Breathe Into Me is one of Red's best songs they've ever made, so I'm going to have to give this one to End of Silence with the track Breathe Into Me. So that means Of Beauty and Rage loses a hit point. Our next matchup is the tracks Let Go versus Shadow and Soul. Both of these tracks are tracks that I don't listen to very often. The thing about Let Go is it's been around for a long time, so it's a pretty well-known Red song. Shadow and Soul is relatively new, but most people know that song as well. Yeah, this one's really hard to figure out because Let Go has good catchy chorus and the bridge is amazing. The thing that Shadow and Soul has over Let Go is the idea of the cinematic sound of it and just the quality of the sound. It's just very dark and it's very, I don't know, it's got a good atmosphere. But I think I'm going to have to give this one to Let Go, because Let Go, it just gets stuck in your head, and it's very well written, and most of the time, the songs that get stuck in your head are the songs that you like. And I know Let Go a lot better, plus it has a great bridge where it just goes into acoustic, and it's one of my more favorite sounds from Red. So I'm going to have to give this one to Let Go. That means Of Beauty and Rage loses a hit point. This next matchup is probably the hardest part of this entire video. Or should I say, the darkest part. Anyways, we have the tracks Already Over versus Darkest Part. And if you're any kind of Red fan, you know that that matchup is a hard one to pick a clear winner from. On one hand, you have Already Over. Already Over is just a beautiful song, and it's got great symbolism in its lyrics. The instrumentals just pull you in, and something about it's just got a nice atmosphere. On the other hand, you have Darkest Part. Darkest Part is such an epic song, and if we're factoring in the music video to this whole equation, Darkest Part just gets a little bit higher because the Darkest Part music video is absolutely amazing. But anyways, Darkest Part starts off a little soft, just like most Red songs do. But then it goes into heavy guitar riffs, the screaming is amazing, and that is why Darkest Part beats Already Over. Now, I would be a fool to tell you that I was not tempted to put Already Over Darkest Part, but in honor of my own top 10 Red songs of all time, I had to put Darkest Part over Already Over, because Darkest Part made it onto my top 10 list, and Already Over didn't even make it onto my top 10 list. So, Darkest Part deserves to be over Already Over. Anyways, that means End of Silence loses a hit point. This next matchup deals with two tracks that kind of get lost in the middle. We have Lost versus Fight to Forget. Now, when it comes to Fight to Forget kind of gets lost more than lost. Man, I'm confusing myself today. Fight to Forget is more of a song in Of Beauty and Rage where it's not as distinguished from the other tracks. So Fight to Forget can kind of blend into the background. Whereas Lost from End of Silence, though it sounds pretty similar to most of the other tracks, it has a lot of qualities that make it more distinguished from the album. And that is why I'm going to have to give this track matchup to Lost from End of Silence. That means Of Beauty and Rage loses a hit point. This next matchup is probably the easiest one to decide in this entire video. We have the track Pieces versus Of These Chains. Now, while Of These Chains has been growing on me in the past few months, it does not compare at all to the song Pieces by Red. The thing about Pieces is that Red is a band that can do so many different amazing things. They have great crushing guitars, amazing screaming vocals, yet you get a song so soft, so elegant, so beautiful as Pieces. That has amazing violins in it. It's got amazing piano and acoustic guitar, and it just tells the story of being broken and coming to God in your brokenness, which is so beautiful. Honestly, Pieces is probably one of the most beautiful songs I have ever heard in my entire life. I know that's a big thing to say, but it's true. In my opinion, Pieces should be able to take more than one hit point off of Beauty and Rage, but that would be a little unfair. Also, if we did that, I'm pretty sure that these two albums might be at a stalemate, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm for sure that Pieces is better than Of These Chains. So, Of Beauty and Rage loses a hit point. Another hard matchup, guys. We have Break Me Down versus Falling Sky. I've just recently, in the past maybe year or a few months, been getting into the song Break Me Down. It's got amazing intros and outros, and the fact that they use an acoustic guitar to sound more like a rock song is something that I really vibe with, something that actually inspires me in my music making. But when we're pairing it against the song Falling Sky, it's kind of hard to get it up, because Falling Sky has such an epic intro. The entire idea of the song is just so epic, and I don't really know what other word to use for it except for the word epic. So really, when you go Break Me Down versus Falling Sky inches it out just a little bit more, like with their cinematic feeling and just the amazing intro that it has. Both have amazing intros, but Falling Sky overall is the better song. So that means End of Silence loses a hit point. The next matchup we have is another pretty easy one. We have Wasting Time versus Yours Again. Yours Again has an amazing intro with swirling electronics and climbing guitars. It also has that nice cinematic feeling that Red gives. With its bridge, it's got amazing violins, and it just makes it an all-around amazing song. Wasting Time, however, is more of a general kind of album filler rock sounding song. Now, in my opinion, there are a lot of aspects from Wasting Time that are amazing. Its intro is really well done as well. It's just not as gripping or captivating as the song Yours Again. And I'm pretty sure I knew Yours Again was going to win against almost any track I put it against, because it is one of my top favorite songs of all time from Red, unless, I put it against a song like Pieces or something, Anyways, that means End of Silence loses a hit point. This next matchup is a pretty interesting one. We have Gave It All Away versus What You Keep Alive. And I'm pretty sure I knew that whatever Gave It All Away went up against, it would probably lose. Because Gave It All Away is another one of those Red tracks that's kind of like a filler in the album. And while it does have substance to it, and in my opinion, basically every Red song is good, I haven't really heard one that I hate. It's still not a very strong song. In comparison to What You Keep Alive, that song really surprised me when listening through this album to make this video. I knew that song a lot more than I thought I did, and I figured out how much that I actually liked that song while listening to it. I was like, whoa, I like this song way more than I thought. And it was something like I've heard it before, I just never really realized how much it kind of connected with me. And that's one of those instances where you gotta kind of let it grow on you. But that's why What You Keep Alive is better than Gave It All Away. So that means End of Silence loses a hit point. This next matchup is going to be kind of a group battle, if you will. We have uneven track listings for Of Beauty and Rage and End of Silence. So we have 2 tracks left from End of Silence, and we have about 4 tracks left from Of Beauty and Rage. So I'm going to try to kind of pit them all against each other. The 2 tracks left from End of Silence are Already Over Part 2 and Hide. Not in that order. They go in the other order when you're listening to the album. The tracks left from Of Beauty and Rage are Take Me Over, The Ever, Part That's Holding On, and Gravity Lies. And I know Gravity Lies came earlier in the album, but I just did not talk about it because I wanted to pit some other tracks against each other. So Already Over Part 2 is a track that has been growing on me. I didn't like it at the beginning because I didn't like how they took a softer approach to the song Already Over, but it works. It wraps up the album so well. Also, the song Hide from End of Silence, that song's been growing on me a lot. That's got an epic intro, nice low tones coming in over the repeating guitar riffs, which just really kind of grab you, and for me, it's a lot about the intro, so this has a great intro. Take Me Over, great song. I think it's a very underrated. This is a great Red song, although I do think that Already Over Part 2 beats Take Me Over, so that means Of Beauty and Rage loses a hit point. And then we're going to do Hide versus The Ever. The Ever is an amazing song. It starts out amazing, but I still think the Hide has a better feeling to it, and it's got better guitar riffs at the beginning, so that means Hide beats Take Me Over, which means Of Beauty and Rage loses another hit point. But hold on, we have Part That's Holding On. Man, I'm just confusing myself this entire time. We have Part That's Holding On and Gravity Lies left, and we have 2 leftover tracks, meaning that both of those tracks are going to take 2 hit points from End of Silence. So End of Silence loses 2 hit points. Part That's Holding On is just an all-around great Red song. One song that really did surprise me, though, is Gravity Lies. This song surprised the heck out of me, and I need to listen to it even more to kind of let it grow on me even more, because I always thought Gravity Lies, oh, that's just kind of a song in the middle that just doesn't really have much distinction, but no, that song is amazing. So it definitely deserves to take hit points out of End of Silence, and so does Part That's Holding On. So that means the winner is Of Beauty and Rage. Now, if picking the winner came down to my personal preference, then I would probably choose End of Silence. But it doesn't, because we're looking at this objectively with a track-by-track analysis and a SmackDown. Anyways, Of Beauty and Rage just altogether is the better put together album. It starts off with a great intro, it ends with a great outro. It's got many great tracks in between that are just brilliantly put together. And I don't know what else to say. So that is why Of Beauty and Rage is the clear winner between End of Silence. I mean, I don't know if I should say clear winner because it's 1 point over End of Silence. So guys, this was a tooth and nail, fight to the end kind of SmackDown. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see more of these kind of album review SmackDowns, track review SmackDowns, any kind of SmackDown videos, then hit me up in the comments below. Also, tell me which album is your favorite of the two, End of Silence, Of Beauty and Rage. Anyways, also, hit me with a like and sub if you want to see more videos like this coming soon. I'm trying to hit 100 subs, and once we reach that goal, you know I'm going to get a party. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Peace out.